Hello, we're back today and we're going to be talking about writing linear equations in slope-intercept form. So yesterday we talked about linear equations and graphing them. Today we're going to be writing the equation that actually goes to the line that's drawn on the graph. If you know the slope, if you know the slope of a line and the y-intercept, you can write an equation that describes the line. Slope-intercept form of a linear equation, we've written down, I don't know how many times, y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Where your y, let's just go over a few vocab words that we've covered this past year. Y is your dependent variable. And it depends on your x value, because we know for every input there is a specific and designated output. Can't get the output without the input, basically. M is your slope. And B is your y-intercept. All right, so there are 4 parts to a linear equation. 4 parts. Of a linear equation. All right, so basically you have to write it in this format. Y equals mx plus b. You just can't write mx plus b without equaling what the output is going to be. And your output is definitely going to be y. Okay? So let's look at a few examples. The first set of examples, we are writing slope-intercept form when we're given the slope and the y-intercept. Again, slope is m. Y-intercept is b. All right, and we always want to start off each equation with y equals. Remember, slope is the number in front of x. It is not x. Okay, so if you want to, you can always write down the slope-intercept form so you don't forget what goes where. So in this case, m is -3, so we write -3x plus, since it is a positive number for our y-intercept, 1/2. And that's it. That's all it asks us to do. Write in slope-intercept equation. All right, let's do the next one. Our slope is 1/3 and our y-intercept is 6. So we write y equals 1/3x plus 6, because our 6 is positive. For the next one, we have a slope of 4 and a y-intercept of 2, so we write y equals 4x, because slope is the number in front of x, plus 2, and y-intercept is your constant, m and b. And then lastly, slope equals -6 and y-intercept equals -9. So we write y equals -6x minus 9. -6x because the slope is negative, and -9 because our y-intercept is also negative. You would not write 2 double negatives, because a double negative makes a positive, just like saying a negative times a negative. So you only have to write it once if your number is negative. Okay? How about when we're given a graph? We can write the equation for a line. Now, I typically like to find my slope and find the b before I can write the equation, because you definitely need those two pieces of information. And remember that y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So from these two particular examples, we see that our y-intercept is graphed for us. So we can write that down. B is equal to 0, -3. And we only want the y value in our ordered pair here because that gives us our b. All right, m is our change of y over our change in x. So we need to take the y values and get the difference. So 1 minus a -3 divided by 1 minus 0. Remember, if you're doing it this way, y2 minus y1 is equal to x2 minus x1, you want to make sure that whatever order you use on top, you use the same order on the bottom. Don't change the order. All right. So 1 minus a -3 is 4. And 1 minus 0 is 1, which 4 divided by 1 is just 4. So I have my slope and I have my b. Now I can write the equation of my line. Y equals 4x minus 3. Okay? Now we move over here to the next one. We see that our y, no, that's our x-intercept. Don't mind me. Our y-intercept is already graphed for us, so we can write that down. B is equal to 0, 1. And we are concerned with the number that's in the y spot in our ordered pair. All right, and then we find our m. We take the difference of our y values, 1 minus 0 over 0 minus a -3. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus a -3 is 3. So our slope is 1/3. Do not change the order of what's on top and what's on bottom when you're given a fraction. What belongs in the numerator is in the numerator. What belongs in the denominator belongs in the denominator. 1/3 is not the same as 3. I notice a lot of us do that. We switch it around when we're not supposed to. All right, so now that I know my slope and I know the y-intercept, I can write the equation. Y equals 1 over 3x plus 1. All right, this gives us the equation of the line. That's what we're looking for, the equation of the line. Well, what else can we gain from these two graphs? Well, both graphs had 2 points. So could we find the slope given 2 points? Yes, you can. You could find, or you could use 2 points to find the equation 2. We're about to find that out on the next page. Okay, let's go to the next page. Here now we're given 2 points where we can find the slope and we can find the b. Now it takes a little bit more work with these because if we notice in these 2 points, our y-intercept is not given, so that means I have to find it. Okay, and I also like to write, if it tells me to write it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to put the slope-intercept form up top. All right. Okay, so the first thing we need to find is our slope. And remember, slope is your change in y over your change in x. And instead of doing y2 minus y1, I can just say, just like we did in our table a couple of days ago, to go from 5 to 1, you would have to subtract 4. To go, that's our change in y, okay? Our change in y is negative 4. To go from negative 3 to negative 1, I would have to add 2. Okay? Well, if that's the case, I'm going to need a little bit more space here, so I'm going to erase this and put it over here. Okay? So m is change of y over change in x. Our change in y was negative 4. Our change in x is a positive 2. And negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. So now you have your slope. And we got that from here, okay? Now that I have my slope, I can find my b. So let's write it in slope-intercept form with the information that we have. Y equals negative 2x plus, I don't know what b is, so I'm going to leave b where it is. Then I'm going to use one of my points. Let's use the first point, okay? And our point is always given an x, comma, y. So where the x is, I'm going to plug in negative 3. Where the y is, I'm going to plug in 5. So 5 is equal to negative 2 times negative 3 plus b. We're looking for our starting point now. This is how we find it. All right, so 5 is equal to negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. 6 plus b. And how do we get b by itself? Well, we have to move the 6. And we do that by using inverse operations. You subtract 6 from both sides. So 5 minus 6 is negative 1. And that's our b value. Now I know our y-intercept. I know b and I know the slope. That's all I need. So now I can write my equation. All right. Y equals negative 2x minus 1. Now, I color-coded it so you can see where we got all the information from, okay? Y equals an x came from our slope form. Negative 2 comes from our slope. And minus 1 comes from our y-intercept. All right?